information to make our graph. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make these 3 graphs. So because I have just a sample data set, I'm only going to use my first 8 data points. You're going to use all of them. The first thing we're going to do is make our 0 order graph. I'm going to highlight my total time. And now we're going to learn how to highlight non-adjacent columns. I've highlighted total time, and I'm going to either press and hold Command on a Mac or press and hold Control on a PC. So I've completely let go of my mouse button. I'm going to hover over my first data point. I'm going to highlight next. Now press and hold Command with my left hand. Now with my right hand, press and drag down to the data points. And now I can let go. I see I have 2 non-adjacent columns highlighted. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to insert a graph. Several ways to do this, one of which insert my marked scatter plot right there, XY scatter. Click on the dots. Right away, I can see that I have total time on the x-axis. I'm going from 0 to 1400 seconds, which is appropriate. On the y-axis, you know, the numbers are all significantly less than 0, so 0.002 to 0.003. That seems appropriate. If the numbers don't look like what you're trying to graph, that means you highlighted the columns incorrectly. You need to delete the chart and try again. As soon as I make that chart, I go to Quick Layout, and I click on this first one, and that just gives me easy to edit axis titles and labels. I'm going to delete the trendline, the series label, because I'm only graphing one set of data, so there's no need for a legend. Now I'm going to add my trend line. Right click on a data point, add trend line, linear by default because it recognizes the data as linear. Click display equation on chart, display R-squared value on chart. Now I can go ahead and move this around, and this tells me my R-squared value is 0.9384. That tells me how well my data is described by this linear trend line. The next thing we want to do is make sure we have 2 significant figures displayed for that slope, which we don't. So I'm going to go ahead and right click, and I'm going to format trend line label. I'm going to make that scientific with 2 digits past the decimal point, and you can see this updated right here. And now I know that my slope is negative 1.43, e negative 6, remember, is times 10 to the negative 6. Going to delete these lines, and now I see that all of my data is hanging out at the top of the graph. I want to really delete all of this blank space on the bottom. I do that by, instead of starting at 0, maybe I'll start at 0.002. Going to right click on that axis, the numbers. I'm going to, let's see if it didn't work. So click on the numbers, right click, and then format axis. And now I can see my minimum is 0. I want the minimum to be 0.002. And I can just click outside. And now I can see, well, that's too low because my data is hidden. So let's make that 0.00, maybe 1.5. So you can play around with this until your graph looks appropriate. Ah, there we go. So I can see that now my data is taking up the majority of this area. And let's make that 0.36. There we go. So that's an excellent graph. You need to add an appropriate title for the x-axis, so that's your time in seconds. Here's your concentration of RCL at time t, and then an appropriate title. So now you're going to go ahead and make the same graphs for your first order, so using your column K on the y-axis, and your second order using column L.